After 2 years of unending Cold War within the leadership fold of the Lagos State chapter of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, an election into the office of the PFN chairman has been conducted to the amazement of a lot of stakeholders within the fellowship. The newly elected chairman of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, is worried over the state of governance in the nation of Nigeria and believes that God will help to turn things around for good. The new leadership of the PFN in Lagos also wants the federal government of Nigeria to do something concerning the hardship and suffering being experienced by citizens. It will be recalled that some members of the PFN did kick against the Muslim ticket of the present administration prior to the 2023 general election in Nigeria. Joining us now on the show as we take a look at the state of governance in Nigeria is Pastor Yemi Davids, Chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN Lagos State Chapter. Good morning, sir, and first of all, congratulations. I know you were recently inaugurated as PFN Chairman in Lagos State, and you're welcome to the morning show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dr. Abati. Good to be here. I enjoyed the morning show. I'm one of your great followers, especially what's trending today. It has a way of helping us know what's happening around. And as religious leaders, we are well informed and connects us with people better. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Pastor. Well, you are joining us at a very critical moment.
Yes, sir.
Just the morning after the NNPC Limited has announced that the pump price of fuel should now be 897 naira per litre. And some Nigerians are selling at above 1,000 in some parts of the country, where this is a major issue for the congregation. Yes. And there are fears that things could even get worse, and that prices, inflation rate and all that could go up. What would be your message as to where we have found ourselves at this moment, particularly for the aggrieved congregation?
Yeah, well, it's a lot, the confluence of policies from the government in terms of, beyond even the fuel, we've been trying to sort out the electric tariff. You know, food prices are up, and the pressure on us as a church, as churches, are a lot. Our welfare system is stretched. Unfortunately, we don't talk about that every time. I mean, we spend a lot, virtually every week, feeding people. And we would love government to have some empathy. It looks like wickedness. I don't know, everything coming together at the same time. It looks like somebody is like being wicked on the people. It looks like that. We all feel the pain, both the leadership of the church and members of the church. So we want to appeal that there should be a human face. There should be that consideration for people, beyond church members, for people. As a leader myself, I think if you want to do anything that will affect the people, there has to be adequate communication. Adequate and prompt communication. We don't seem to have that. And then when you're communicating, we love there to be some compassion and empathy. We don't seem to have that. There's a kind of disconnect, you know, with the people. And when that disconnect is there, it influences the way you even communicate with them. So those are areas that bothers us, and we're appealing that those things should be looked into.
Well, as chairman of PFN in Lagos State, you head an umbrella body of with churches of perhaps thousands and membership of millions. To what extent has the PFN in Lagos perhaps influenced some government policy? Do you get consulted? Is there a way that you are able to effect change representing the people that you currently do?
Yeah, we do a lot. For instance, the Lagos State government is doing a lot. There's the committees that are formed, and they ask us to send people to part of the committee for palliatives, and they distribute things.
So you're part of that committee?
No, we know pastors. We have pastors in the PFN body that participate in that, and it's been working to a measure in Lagos. Only that they say water pass Gary or Gary pass water, whichever way you want to say it. So that helps a lot. The consideration of even inviting us on board to help with helping Lagosians, it's laudable for Lagos State. Beyond that, we try to take responsibility as churches to help people. You know, we grapple with school fees, house rents, feeding especially, and we encourage people, churches, to do that. The challenge with churches is that we don't communicate that to the public. So it looks like churches are not doing enough. And And I think it's because of scriptural inclinations that says, whatever your left hand do, don't let your right hand know, because you're not doing it to impress anyone. I'm not giving you money for food to impress the public. I'm doing it for your own sake. So churches don't communicate enough what they are doing. And it now looks like churches are not doing enough. So we're looking at how PFN as a body can also communicate more. That whatever we're doing, let the world know that we are doing this. We're doing a whole lot. We're trying to, help fill the gap of, that the government policies seem to be having on people in terms of pain and suffering.
Well, Pastor, see, you use the word that it looks like government does not have enough empathy.
Yeah.
You say that all the policies, you said the confluence of policies you talked about, would seem to project wickedness onto the people of Nigeria. Are you saying that the Tinubu administration is a wicked administration that is, beating the people with lashes and scorpions?
No. That's why I said same, because of lack of communication. It's like a family. If daddy needs to save some money for house rent, and that means there'll be some shortage of certain enjoyments in the house. If you don't communicate to Junior effectively, Junior can see it as wickedness. Now, why can't I have my candy? Why can't I have my bicycle? Why can't I have this or that? But if daddy tells Junior that, we have to get this for the house, so because of that, we have to sacrifice this, sacrifice that. Even Junior will support you in whatever you are doing.
The Tinubu government and the spokespersons, they've been preaching the message of sacrifice, that the people should make sacrifices. And in fact, there are some people who argue that Pentecostal pastors are part of the problem, because Pentecostal pastors, your members in the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, are the ones preaching prosperity, the gospel of prosperity. And people expect that in Nigeria, things should just be easy all the time. So they say the pastors are the problem.
Well, I don't think the pastors are the problem. I agree there are excesses, okay? In any setting, there are excesses. That happens. I say this to people. We have fantastic engineers, and you have very corrupt engineers. You have great bankers, and you have corrupt bankers. You can't say because some bankers are not doing well in terms of their work, you don't do banking at all. Okay, so there are excesses. But I believe churches give hope to people. You call it prosperity. We call it hope. You come to church, what can you do to make your business better? We try to teach people, engage people, encourage people. I believe without churches in this country, things would have been worse. I believe that, because every week there is that hope, there is that encouragement that we give the people, which helps them to step out into their places of work and businesses and give their best, in spite of the lapses in the country. I agree there are excesses, and unfortunately, as I said earlier, churches don't communicate enough. So it looks like the squeaky spoke speaks louder than the ones that are working. So I think the lapses we have in communicating what we do regularly. For instance, when I saw the figures we spent as a church on feeding people in the last 1 month, it's staggering. It's several millions just feeding. Well, I can't come and show people on TV that I fed this woman. It's undignifying for that woman. Yes, she's fed, but you're also tampering with her esteem. So we don't need to be showing that I helped this widow. Yes, you've helped the widow, but do you have to damage her by showing her on social media that I helped her? In that sense, so
some people are so hungry they don't mind about dignity.
But that's them. But that's them. It doesn't mean you have to do it like that.
Yes,
I'm saying that we are doing a lot.
Yes.
But we also need to start communicating a lot. Like we did some things for widows during Easter, about 1,000 widows, clothing, food stuff. We did it regularly. So when we show pictures, okay, from their back, you don't see their face. So we are saying that churches should say what you are doing. Don't let it look like they say we are taking. Let them see how much we are breathing out, so that they can have a robust understanding of, oh, this is how things are. Because you can't blame them for the narrative they have if you're not saying what you are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions for you. During your speech, when you were inaugurated as the chairman of the PFN Lagos State chapter, you had centered on unity.
Yeah.
Based on some of the internal issues in the PFN chapter of Lagos State. But I see that also replicated even in Nigeria as a whole, Lagos State as a whole.
Yeah.
It was along issues of tribal sentiment, political intrigues, and it's the same that can be said for Nigeria. In fact, we've constantly advocated here for efforts to bring people together. The ethnic slurs and insults and the division along ethnic lines is incredible. It shouldn't be seen in 2024 in Nigeria. I'd like you to share what are some of the recommendations you'll make. First, of a man of the cloth, and you preach love, you preach unity, you preach togetherness, and then perhaps recommendations for the government as to what they can do to ensure that people, Lagos State saw it really bad during the elections, we're being honest. And we've seen that in many ways. We see people online just spewing hate. How can we unite Nigeria again? Then the second question is, the End Bad Governance protest. I'd like to get your view on that. Did your members participate in that? Did you, are you in support of that? Because you've talked a lot about hunger and how you fed a lot of people, and this is the reality. In fact, the word out there is a big power. A lot we are hungry. So I'd like you to on those two questions.
It was not too good the last elections. I was personally pained because when the road is bad, whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, you apply that same road. So I think what I want to encourage, especially from my constituency, is development. Whether you are Muslim, atheist, or Christian, where there is development in terms of electricity, adequate security, you're okay. There's no Muslim security in that sense, or Christian good road. You understand? So I think what we need to do is educate people. And I think pastors have a fantastic opportunity at doing that. If we say government is not communicating enough, we have the opportunity to do that maybe every Sunday. So can you teach and educate the people about why it's not about this ethnic thing? It is development we're all looking for. Everybody wants electricity. We want fuel, at the right price, whatever that means, So when we do that regularly, I think government will align with it. Because by the time the polity is educated in that light, they will also, it will be hard for them to toe what we saw in the last election. As regards, what's the second thing again?
End Bad Governance protest.
I mean, I was part of NSAS protest myself before it was hijacked. When people are hungry, I don't think it's fair to also tell them how they should respond to hunger. It's like your child is hungry at home, and you're not really providing, the food is not really ready. You're not telling the child, when you are crying, don't cry loud, don't let the neighbor hear. You can't be telling someone how he or she should protest in that sense. It's an unconscious thing. Some people will be quiet and be looking at you. Some of us will shout, I'm very hungry. So I feel people should be allowed to express themselves. If you don't listen to people, the reality is they'll protest. They would, and beyond protest, insecurity. We have issues in churches where people they steal whole instrument, sound system overnight. It's the same thing we're all going through. I mean, can you imagine coming to church on a Monday morning and what you used on Sunday had been cleared? So when people are not listened to, they are bound to kind of protest, which can be expressed in various ways. I think that's the reality of things, yeah.
Okay, Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about politics and the church.
Yeah.
In 2023, during the general elections, many of the churches got very active, got involved. They asked people to produce in church their voters card, PVC, and all of that. Okay, and I think the PFN, some branches said the church must be involved in politics. Now, most recently, when Prime Minister Ayodele was celebrating 30 years, I think 30 years of his prophetic ministry, one of the statements attributed to him was that he said, look, the CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, and many branches of PFN, they are not spiritual bodies, that they are just into politics, including partisan politics. So is it true, as alleged, that the PFN knows nothing about spiritualism, is just to play politics with the congregation? and government.
Thank you. I think it is the situation we have in our country that's making the politics thing to be so loud. In my speech on Saturday, I remember I said one of the things we want to focus on is more alignment with Pentecostal fellowship. Like, it's Pentecostal fellowship. In fact, I made a statement, I said, it's not Pentecostal political fellowship, that this should be a power. Yeah, there's politics in terms of engagement with government, which Ayo mentioned earlier. That has to be there. We need to represent our body well and also engage with the government to see how we can help them. But the major chunk of of PFN going forward, building on that, is the Pentecostal fellowship itself. The partisan thing bothers me a lot. What I did in our church, I remember I had to tell them, you educate people about national transformation. In fact, I said we have a lot of Bible schools. We train pastors, and we have pastors.
So you agree with Pramesh Ayodele that there are many politicians in the church who parade themselves as pastors?
No, I do not, in the sense that the ones that are doing it, it's like marriage. When somebody ends up in a crisis, it's louder than the many people doing well in their marriage. So you cannot begin to assume that everybody is failing in their marriage. It's not true. There are a lot of churches that are doing very well. There are a lot of churches that are facing their business in the sense of spiritual focus. They just need to communicate more. As per partisan politics, I think churches should allow people make their decisions. I don't think it's too okay to say a member should vote for a person. I don't think so. It's okay to educate them about national transformation, about what should be. Then you too develop yourself. I remember during the NSAS protest, I said to the young people, or younger people because I'm still young, I said to younger people that you are protesting now. Can you also prepare for the time? Because one day you'll be there. It's not easy to be in that place. Because by the time you get there, nowadays not too young to rule, by the time you get there, will you not do worse? So preparing people for leadership, I think, is one of the things we want to start doing.
President Tinubu used to be one of the protesters, leading protests to fight for June 12. He's there now. So easy. Some of the people protesting today may one day be there too. Yeah. You are very right, Pastor. And thank you very much for joining us on The Morning Show.